What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at Roberto, the centre mid for Udinese. He is the Argentinian centre mid, and obviously he's coming in relatively cheap. I think a 4-star, again, we've done the Pereyra review, or we're doing it at the same time. I don't understand the 5-star, where that's gone. It may be just a glitch. I'm hoping that it is a glitch, because it means that he goes up to a 5-star weak foot, 4-star skill move. And as a centre mid, that is absolutely bang on perfect. I know that obviously fire is normally weak foot and ice is skill move, because obviously we picked the ice Pulisic. If you want to check that review out, it is already on the channel, so watch it after this video. Make sure you like and subscribe on this one as well if you are enjoying it. 6 foot tall, high on the work rates, right footed. Going to be quite a good box to box. In terms of chemistry style, I can imagine people are wanting that shadow. Takes him up to 90 pace with 93 acceleration and 88 sprint speed, as we can imagine, and it will give you a +8 on that defending, taking it all the way up to 81 and turn him into an 86 centre mid. So to be honest, not the most impressive stats, but I'm thinking for 20k and under, like we bought this one for 18.5. He's currently coming in at 18.5 as well, pretty much across the board. I'd say it's a solid deal, to be honest. You get a new card in your club. He is a 5-star, 4-star, so there's going to have to be something completely wrong with him for him to be not even worth like a little sniff in. If you're going to use him, obviously, for Tagliafico, that's a perfect example. 18k for a good centre mid. Keeps you nice and balanced in that midfield. And I think in general just looks bang out average with some kind of qualities as well. It's got relatively okay shooting, to be honest. His position is nice, bit of finishing on a centre mid, you can't argue. Agility balance for somebody who's 6 foot, again, isn't terrible. Obviously the ball control is quite good. Passing, I'd say, to be honest, I think people are harshed on by this card. I think he genuinely looks quite a well-rounded card. Great stamina on him as well. So we're just going to jump straight into him, see what he's all about, and hopefully we get some light or some information at the very minimum on why we've not got the 5-star weak foot. So let's jump into him and see what Roberto can do for us. Roberto looking for that ball, really pushing there and on the attack. Very nice indeed so far with him. I think, like I say, in terms of kind of, you've got to think of cost here. If you're looking at, what, an 18k player who potentially will drop down to complete minimum, I really don't think it's that bad at all. I think the stats look pretty solid. Good interception. Oh, okay, my controller decided that it didn't want to work anymore, but great interception from Roberto, even if he didn't manage to kind of capitalize on it. It's going to look like a little skill move around him. Nice little ball into Gomez, who is going to find Messi through. He's going to try and run past the keeper, tries for the cross, and it's going to be Pereyra who bags it. Absolute top-notch stuff. Roberto seeing it out again. Like I said, his passing-wise looks really good. To Roberto seeing it forward. Kind of want to see that box-to-box sort of style from him. Really pushing forward now. Gets the ball over the top from Pereyra. We're looking for that burst of pace. Whips one in. That's a solid whip as well. DePaul going for the shot. Roberto trying to stand his ground. I'd say so far up and down is seeming pretty nice. Good block from Roberto. Again, kind of a bit of everywhere in terms of the block. It was kind of powered at him, but definitely nice in that midfield. So that Roberto out. I think pace-wise he's definitely kind of struggling here, especially not against necessarily even an incredible team. Like if we went against the team we went for Pulisic with him, I just don't think he'd be able to handle it, to be honest. And that, again, is where his 20k kind of comes in at the value. He's relatively okay pace, but when it comes to it, it's just not quite enough of what you want. And that's where the passing game is definitely going to be more suited to him. That's a ball, and Roberto goes for the header as well. We get another cross, and it is a beautiful goal from him. Roberto again, and I'm interested to see as well with him is how long he can kind of keep up with this play. Up and down the pitch quite nicely. Oh my, Roberto going for it. To Roberto again, nice little turn. Finds inner Campos down the wing, who's going to start this counter. Roberto looking for that big through ball, and okay, we found his limits there. Pereyra's going to find a little bit of a counter. Does struggle to get the ball out of his feet there. He's looking for Messi through, and I don't get why he's not chasing me, but we're going to go left foot, and we know Messi's going to score from there. Absolutely no problem. I think with Pereyra most definitely will come in a hell of a lot cheaper as the days go by, so I personally wouldn't be picking him up straight away because we still have FUT Champs rewards from everybody. Obviously it's always a factor now, as well as then obviously we've got squad battle rewards, we've also got upgrade packs hopefully Monday, potentially even icon swaps. So personally I would hold off on these, and again there's going to be some players that we'll review who probably suit more weak foot than skill moves and vice versa, so definitely kind of just make sure you're doing your research on the player before obviously going in for one. So my man Roberto then, he's coming in at, like I say, about 18 to 19k depending on what console you're on and when you buy him, and I think he's going to be discarded before too long. 13k max, maybe even 12, 11, but he isn't terrible. Like, yes, he's not necessarily the most OP centre mid in the world. We kind of knew that. And I think if we do quickly just take a real gander at what we've got in terms of obviously Argentinian midfielders as well as then Serie A midfielders, we're looking at a box-to-box. Vidal does a cracking job there. Defrel is more of a cam if anything. We've got... just trying to think of cinemas. Pereyra, I suppose. Even a bit of Kessie. You whack a little bit of a hunter on him or something. He is more DM, but he definitely can play both. Locatelli is definitely a DM, and I think that's probably it. Tonali's more of a DM as well. So in terms of box-to-box Serie A, we're looking at Vidal, and that is probably about it. You could definitely... oh, and Pereyra, I suppose. You could definitely get away with Kessie, but I do think that he is quite nice as a DM or as a kind of stay DM. And I think, he's looking at the top 4 then in terms of this league at this present time. Obviously, cards will come out and fly out like no other and take everybody's spot. In terms of Argentinian midfielders, I'd say in terms of anybody other than icons, he's the best one. He's obviously the best box-to-box. We haven't got that many specials yet. Naturally, that is just what's going to happen there. Obviously, in terms of midfielders, I think Varane would definitely give him some kind of run for his money. Riquelme is more of a cam and to be honest, is probably quite average. Maradona is just absolute clear. It's unreal, but again, is not necessarily a box-to-box. So at least for the Argentinian team, you'll probably see him a lot against the Tagliafico objective, just purely for the fact that he is 18,000 coins and one of the better centre mids you can get in the Argentinian team. In terms of chemistry style, obviously the shadow was applied, so you've got a very nice sort of kind of pace boost / defending boost from him. And I think, yes, going up and down, he wasn't necessarily the slowest player on the pitch, but again, he wasn't the fastest either. So you got to take that with a pinch of salt with when he is really getting into your opponent's half, just because he's not necessarily the quickest to getting back. So that is why it's very, very important to have that DM on stay back whilst attack, because otherwise your whole midfield goes and you get just 2 players like Roberto who don't get back as quick as, say, Neymar runs up the pitch. That's when you're in absolute trouble. But I think this card for me, it's an okay card. It's nothing really too special. I do think he is quite nice for a 6-foot centre mid, but in terms of actual ability, I would be putting him up average at the moment. I think something like a 6 out of 10 would be quite nice, because he's better than just your standard gold cards, but not necessarily in any sort of meta one bit. Like I say, he's not bad, but I personally would only use him in the objective, and then obviously fodder is for the rest if we get duplicates upon duplicates. But bar from that, if you did enjoy Roberto's review, make sure you do hit that like button and subscribe whilst you're down there, and I'll see you all for the next one. Peace. I think it's going to be Gabriel.